You will die within a month." These words pierced Emma Gray's heart like an icicle as she stood in that $1,000,000 antique chair, surrounded by dozens of hostile eyes. Victoria Blackwell, the plantation owner's sister, had just slapped her in public. But even more terrifying was the man seated at the head of the table, Sebastian Blackwell, a 32-year-old billionaire who controlled the business empire of the 7 great families of the East Coast. He looked at her with those silver gray eyes as if appraising a piece of art he had just bought. "She is mine," he declared, his voice deep and unquestionable. What Emma didn't know was that a family curse from 300 years ago was coming true for her, and she was about to become the only variable in this game of power.
Welcome to Luna's Romance Stories. Read the entire novel in one go. Message or comment to tell me what kind of story you'd like to read. Subscribe to the channel for daily updates. Luna reminds you, the story begins now.
Get up, you filthy bastard." The screams ripped through the tranquility of the manor hall like razor blades. Emma Gray's eyes snapped open. She just wanted to rest for a moment. Just a moment. After kneeling and scrubbing the marble floor since dawn, the velvet cushion felt like a cloud, completely different from the thin cushion she slept on in the servants' quarters. She didn't realize she had fallen asleep. Victoria Blackwell looked down at her, the sister of the family heir, her delicate face contorted with rage. At least 20 family members, all attending the dinner, were gathered behind her, all watching Emma frantically get to her feet. "I am sorry, madam. I didn't mean to." The slap came swiftly and hard, and Emma's head snapped to the side. Her cheek burned with pain. She tasted blood in her mouth, and her teeth had bitten her inner lip until it bled. "Do you know what you've done?" Victoria's voice dropped to a deadly whisper, yet it echoed throughout the hall. "That is the lady's chair. It has been passed down through the Blackwell family for 300 years, carved from sacred oak and blessed by the family witches. And you, a bastard who doesn't even deserve a surname, dare to defile it with your very existence." Emma lowered her head, her long, dark hair hanging down, concealing the tears that were about to fall. She was used to it. Used to being nameless. Her mother was indeed a servant in the Blackwell family, but her father was an alcoholic gardener who abandoned them when Emma was 5. In this world of the wealthy and powerful, where bloodlines and lineage mattered, she was less than a dog. For 23 years, she had been told this every day. "Take the cushions off," Victoria ordered the other servants. "Burn them all. We need to. Before what purify the whole chair." The voice boomed like thunder throughout the hall, and everyone froze. Even Victoria froze. Especially Victoria. Emma had never heard Sebastian Blackwell speak directly. She had only seen a fleeting glimpse of him. A tall figure moving down the corridor, with dark hair and even deeper eyes, radiating power like the heat of a flame. He was the youngest head of a family in centuries, ruling not just one family, but an alliance of 7 powerful clans. People said he killed his first challenger at the age of 16. They said his business acumen was as fierce as a bear's, and his eyes gleamed silver in the dark. They talked a lot. "My mistress." Victoria curtsied deeply, and Emma followed suit, her knees almost buckling. "I was merely dealing with this bastard. She slept in the lady's chair. Such disrespect." I asked. "Before what?" Sebastian's footsteps echoed on the marble floor. Emma could see his boots from where she was kneeling. Expensive leather, custom, made. "What should we do before we need to clean the chair?" Victoria's laughter was crisp. "Of course, before your chosen fiancé arrives tomorrow, Miss Vivian Silver Creek will come to discuss the marriage, and when she sits in her chair, it will recognize her as the future lady, just as it has recognized all the previous ladies. We can't let it be." "Stand up." It took Emma a moment to realize he was talking to her. Her legs were trembling, but she stood up, still keeping her head down. In this world, looking directly into the eyes of a family head was considered a challenge, and she wasn't foolish enough to challenge a business tycoon. "Look at me." Her heart was pounding in her chest. Slowly, very slowly. She raised her eyes. Sebastian Blackwell is even more intimidating up close. He is well over 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders that strain against his black shirt. His face is sharply defined. High cheekbones, a strong chin covered in dark stubble, and a straight nose that looks like it has been broken at least once. But what truly took her breath away was his eyes. They weren't the brown or amber color she had expected. They are silver, pure metallic silver, like moonlight solidified. And they were staring at her with such intensity that she felt like she was being dissected. "What is your name?" His voice was now softer, but still powerful. "Emma Gray, my master." Her own voice was almost inaudible. "Gray." He savored the word, as if tasting it. "You are Eliza's daughter." Emma nodded. Her mother had died of a fever 5 years ago, but she had only been a lowly servant, like Emma. She was surprised that the head of the family knew her mother's name. "She has a kind heart," Sebastian said, something flashing across his face. Sadness, perhaps, regret. "You have her eyes." Before Emma could respond, Victoria stepped between them, her smile sharp. "Brother, please don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. This bastard has violated one of our most sacred traditions. She needs to be punished. I suggest 20 lashes, and then sit down." Victoria blinked. "What?" "Sit down," Sebastian said, gesturing to the lady's chair. "If you care so much about the sanctity of the chair, then sit down. Show everyone how it responds to true noble lineage." The hall became completely quiet. Even the servants who were setting out dinner stopped and froze in place. Victoria's smile faltered. "I don't need to prove anything. Everyone knows. The chair only responds to the head of the family's chosen wife. It won't fit anyone else." "Once, Miss Vivian. Are you disobeying the family head's orders?" The temperature in the room seemed to have dropped 10 degrees. Victoria's face turned pale, and she shook her head rapidly. "No, of course not, my master. I just feel it is unnecessary." "Sit." Victoria walked stiffly to the chair, her movements reluctant. She sat down slowly, carefully adjusting her expensive silk dress. She sat there for a long time, her back stiff, her hands folded on her knees. Nothing happened. The chair remains unchanged, elegant and beautiful, but completely untouched. It did not move. It did not adapt. It did not endorse Victoria at all. Sebastian said dryly. "That is funny. Maybe you should stand up, sister." Victoria jumped up, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment and anger. The gathered family members now whispered among themselves, their voices low and filled with confusion and speculation. Then Sebastian turned those silver eyes back to Emma, and her stomach sank. "No, you, master, I can't. I shouldn't. Sit down, Emma Gray. This is not a request. This isn't even an order. This was the manifestation of the family leader's will." Her body obeyed before her mind could catch up. She stumbled to the chair, sank onto the cushion, her whole body trembling. For a moment, nothing happened. A sense of comfort washed over her. "See," she is trying to say, "I am nothing. The chair knows. Everyone knows." Then the world changed. The cushions beneath her began to warm, and she could feel them moving, reshaping. The chair back curved forward, supporting her spine in a way that felt like an embrace. The armrests adjusted to the perfect height for her arms. The seat itself seemed to be supporting her body, conforming to her shape in an intimate way that took her breath away. There was something else, a stinging sensation that started where her skin touched the velvet and spread throughout her body. It felt like being enveloped in moonlight. It felt like returning to a home she had never been to but would always belong to. Whispers erupted into shouts. "Impossible! She is a bastard. The chair must be broken. Summanon has gone to check the magic." Emma tried to stand up, but the chair held her. Not by force, it didn't trap or restrain her. But every time she started to get up, the cushion would adjust again, pulling her back and refusing to let go. It is like the chair is claiming ownership, but it refused to let go. "Sebastian, this is insane." Victoria's voice pierced the chaos. The chair must be malfunctioning. We need to find the family elders, the witch who cast the curse. This bastard couldn't possibly be. That is her. Sebastian's voice wasn't loud, but it silenced everyone. He moved closer to the chair, closer to Emma, who could now smell him, pine and rain, and something wild that awakened a long, dormant instinct deep within her. The chair recognized her, he continued, which means fate recognized her. But the marriage alliance with the Silver Creek family, your engagement to Miss Vivian is political, not, it wasn't destined. Sebastian crouched down to look Emma in the eye, and the tenderness in his expression made her throat tighten. This chair has never made a mistake in 300 years. Not even once. If it claims her, then she is mine. The possessiveness in that last word sent a chill down Emma's spine. Get up. Victoria's face turned purple with rage. Get up now, you little. Touch her, and I'll tear your throat apart. Sebastian didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. The threat was so casually certain that Victoria actually took a step back, her hand flying to her neck. She is my destined one, Sebastian continued, still looking at Emma. The chair has been confirmed. This means she is under my protection. Anyone who harms her, threatens her, or even disrespects her will be held personally accountable to me, understand? A deathly silence. Then, gradually, the family members began to nod. Some looked confused, some looked angry or resentful, but all bowed their heads in obedience, except for one person. This is a disaster. Victoria's voice trembled, but she held her ground. The Silver Creek family will consider this an insult. Miss Vivian's father controls the North. If you reject his daughter because of this bastard, he might withdraw from the alliance. We might have a war at our disposal. Then let's fight a war. Sebastian stood up, regaining his full height, forcing Victoria to crane her neck to look at him. I don't care about political advantages. I care about destiny. This is my destined one, my wife. If anyone has objections, they can challenge my rule. He left the words hanging in the air. No one moved, no one spoke, because everyone knew that challenging Sebastian Blackwell was tantamount to suicide. Finally, Emma found her voice. Master, I don't understand. Why, chair? Why did fate choose me? I am nothing. I am not even, I haven't been trained. I haven't been educated. You have courage. Sebastian cupped her cheek in his hand, his thumb tracing the red mark Victoria had left on her. His touch was surprisingly gentle for such a powerful man. You've survived 23 years in a family that treated you like trash. You exhausted yourself every day, but never complained. You endured humiliation and abuse, but you are still here, still standing. That is not weakness, Emma. That is strength. Tears streamed down her cheeks, and she couldn't stop them. No one, not even once in her life, had ever said such a thing to her. The chair knows, Sebastian whispered, his silver eyes fixed on her. I know, soon everyone else will know. You are mine now, my destined one, my lady, and I protect what is mine. The dinner continued, but with one change. Emma Gray would sit at the head table next to Sebastian. Of course, no one left, but Emma could feel the hostility emanating from some of them, like waves. Victoria, in particular, looked like she wanted to burn the entire hall to the ground. Sebastian held out his hand to Emma. Come on, let's see if the chair will let you go now. Emma took his hand, warm, rough, and calloused, and tried to stand up. This time the chair released her. The cushion returned to its original shape, but Emma swore she felt a certain satisfaction emanating from the ancient wood. It was as if it had been waiting for her all along. Sebastian took her hand and led her to the head table. The family members parted before them, their faces a mixture of shock, curiosity, and barely concealed anger. As she passed Victoria, another woman leaned closer and whispered, "This isn't over yet, you bastard. The chair may have chosen you, but the family never will. You'll be dead within a month." Emma's blood turned to ice. But before she could respond, Sebastian wrapped his arms around her waist and pulled her close to him. The gesture was both protective and possessive. "Say it again," he said to Victoria, his voice soft yet deadly. "Please, give me a reason." Victoria's eyes widened, and she quickly took a few steps back, finally showing some semblance of rationality. The following night was spent in a daze. Emma sat at the head table next to Sebastian, a place she had only ever seen from across the room when serving food and drinks. No, she is the one being served, and she doesn't know what to do with the half of the silverware in front of her. Sebastian helped her, discreetly showing her which fork to use without making a fuss. He filled her plate with the best meat and made sure her wine glass was never empty. The family members ate, drank, and laughed, but Emma could sense their gaze upon her, judging her, waiting for her to mess things up. She barely touched her food. Her stomach was in knots. "You need to eat," Sebastian said in a low voice, speaking only to her. "You are too thin." "I am not hungry. You are scared." He cut a piece of roast chicken and handed her a fork. "Eat, please." This please surprised her. The family head will never say please to anyone. But there was something in his eyes, a vulnerability she hadn't expected, that made her take a bite. The chicken was perfectly seasoned, tender, and juicy, and despite everything that had happened, her stomach was gratefully rumbling. Sebastian smiled, a genuine smile that transformed his stern features into something almost boyish. "See, it is not that hard, is it? Why are you so nice to me?" The question slipped out before she could stop it. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," he said, setting down his fork and turning fully to her. "I know you are my destiny. Fate doesn't make mistakes, Emma. If she chose you, then you are exactly the person I need, the person the family needs, even if they are too blind to see it right now. But Miss Vivian, a marriage alliance. Go to hell." Sebastian's expression hardened. "I spent 5 years building political marriages, trade agreements, and alliances. I did everything a family head should do, but there is one thing I've never done: choose for myself. Fate has now given me that opportunity. I won't throw it away." Emma's heart was doing something complicated in her chest. Hope and fear were intertwined until she couldn't tell which was which. Emma didn't sleep that night. She couldn't every time she closed her eyes. She saw Victoria's face contorted with rage, heard the whispers of her family members, those who thought she didn't belong. She felt the weight of expectations pressing down on her shoulders, expectations she had no idea how to meet. As dawn finally broke, painting the sky pink and gold, Emma dragged her weary body out of bed. She found clothes in the closet, a pretty dress and a top that actually fit her well. Unlike the shapeless servant's attire she was used to, she chose a simple blue dress, braided her hair, and tried to make herself look presentable. The knocking made her jump. "Please come in," she called, her voice trembling more than she had hoped. It is not Sebastian. She was an elderly woman with kind eyes and silver, white hair. She was carrying a tray with breakfast: fresh bread, honey, cheese, fruit, and tea. "Good morning, madam." The woman curtsied slightly. "I am Nadine. I have been assigned to be your maid." "I don't need a maid." The words slipped out. Emma had always been the one serving others. Nadine smiled. "Nevertheless, you have received an order from the head of the family. He also asked me to tell you that he has meetings all morning, but would like to invite you to lunch in his study." Emma's stomach churned. Is he angry? Angry? No, child. Quite the opposite." Nadine placed the tray on the small table by the window. "I've known Sebastian since he was a boy. I've never seen him look at anyone the way he looked at you last night. But everyone else, their families, I'll accept it gradually." Nadine's expression turned serious. "I won't lie to you, madam. There will be people who resent you and test you, but you have the favor of the family head, which is more valuable than any noble blood in the world." After Nadine left, Emma forced herself to eat. The food was delicious, but it felt heavy in her stomach. She spent the morning exploring the ladies' suite, touching everything with hesitant fingers, still half believing that she would wake up in the servants' quarters and find that it was all a dream. Around noon, they knocked on the door again. This time it was a young bodyguard, who introduced himself as Caden. "The family head requests your presence, madam." Emma followed Caden through the manor, acutely aware of the gazes following them. Some were curious, some hostile, and some calculating, like family members trying to figure out how to exploit her sudden promotion for their own benefit. Sebastian's study was a large room with bookshelves all around. A huge desk took up the space, piled high with documents and maps. Sebastian stood by the window, his back to the door, but he turned around when she came in. "Emma." Her name came out of his lips like a prayer. "How did you sleep?" "I didn't sleep much." His expression darkened with worry. "We'll take care of this. Are you hungry?" He gestured to the food laid out on the side table. "Far more than enough for 2 people. Looks like you are waiting for an army. I wasn't sure what you like to eat." He looked genuinely embarrassed. "So I had them bring a little bit of everything." Somehow, the powerful family head's concern about what she wanted for lunch made her smile for the first time since last night. They ate together, and Sebastian told her about his morning. He had met with advisors, soldiers, and accountants. He had dealt with disputes among family members and reviewed security reports. Just listening to everything he is in charge of is overwhelming. "And then there is Miss Vivian," he said, carefully keeping his voice neutral. "She'll be there tonight, with her father and entourage. I've already sent word that the engagement is off, but protocol requires me to see them in person." Emma lost her appetite. "She will hate me. She'll hate that her political maneuvering didn't work." Sebastian reached across the table and took her hand. "That is different." "What is that?" "I need you to understand one thing, Emma." He drew a circle with his thumb on the back of her hand. "This was never a love marriage. Vivian and I met twice, both times with our parents present. She was very polite, but there was no contact, no spark. The engagement was purely to consolidate our spheres of influence. Now you are risking the merger falling apart for my sake. I'm respecting the will of fate. It's not the same." He traced his thumb across her hand. "Besides, the Silver Creek family needs this alliance just as much as we do. They won't destroy it because of personal pride." Emma wanted to share his confidence. That evening, she wore the finest gown she had ever worn, a deep emerald green that accentuated the golden flecks in her brown eyes. Nadine helped her style her hair, elegantly tying it up in an updo. When Emma looked in the mirror, she could hardly recognize herself. "You look like a lady," Nadine whispered. "Try to believe it." Sebastian was waiting outside her door, and his eyes widened when he saw her. "You are so beautiful." A flush rose to her cheeks. "It is just this dress." He stepped closer and cupped her cheek in his hand. "It is you. It has always been you." Then he kissed her. Gentle and sweet, Emma's entire world shrank to that single point of contact, her first kiss. She had never imagined anyone would want to kiss her, and here, a family head treasured her like a precious gem. When he stepped back, they were all having difficulty breathing. "I am sorry," Sebastian said, though he didn't sound apologetic at all. "I've wanted to do this ever since I saw you in that chair. I don't mind." Her voice was almost inaudible. His smile was heartbreaking. "Very well now, let's settle this." The meeting with the Silver Creek delegation took place in the formal reception room. Miss Vivian Silver Creek was exactly as Emma had predicted. Tall, blonde, beautiful, with icy blue eyes that could cut through glass. Her father, Lord Theron, was a burly man with a booming voice and an aggressive handshake. "Sebastian." Theron patted the chief on the shoulder, as if they were old friends. "It is a pleasure to see you, child. We've been looking forward to this visit. Vivian is excited to see her future home, isn't she, dear?" Vivian's smile was strained. "Of course, father." Sebastian didn't waste time being polite. "Lord Theron, Miss Vivian." There is a development. I've summoned you here personally, out of respect for the time we've spent negotiating this alliance." Theron's cheerful expression vanished. What is going on? Fate has revealed my destined partner. Sebastian walked to Emma's side and placed his hand on her lower back. "This is Emma Grey, my lady." The ensuing silence was deafening. Then Vivian laughed, a laugh that sounded like shattered glass. "You are joking. Please tell me you are joking." "I don't." Vivian's gaze swept over Emma with obvious disdain. She is a bastard. I can smell the commoner on her. Is this the partner fate has chosen for you? The head of one of the 7 great families? Yes. Sebastian's voice hardened. "I would appreciate it if you could speak to my wife with respect." "Your respect." Vivian's face flushed with anger. "We've been planning this alliance for 2 years. My father has already signed the treaty based on our marriage, and you are going to throw all of this away for some bastard servant." "Vivian," Theron's voice cracked like a whip. "Control yourself." But Vivian had already lost control. She walked toward Emma, and Sebastian immediately stood between them, forming a wall with his body. "Don't move," he warned. "Otherwise what? You'd kill me for insulting your precious bastard." Vivian's eyes burned. "Everyone will laugh at you, Sebastian. A powerful family head, brought down by a girl who can't even do her job properly. It is pathetic. Enough." Sebastian's power churned in the room, heavy and suffocating. Even Emma felt it. Felt some deep-seated instinct within her, whimpering and bowing in submission. "You shall leave my territory now. You shall spread this word. Emma Grey is under my protection. Anyone who harms her or speaks ill of her will be held accountable to me. This applies to every family, every territory, and everyone in the alliance. Understand?" Theron grabbed his daughter's arm and pulled her back. "Very clear, sir. We'll take our leave now, but the treaty. We will renegotiate to reflect the new circumstances." Sebastian's voice was like steel. "I have no intention of undermining the alliance, Theron, but I will not be blackmailed into a loveless political marriage when fate has opened a better path for me." Theron's face flushed, but he nodded stiffly. "As you said, Master, come, Vivian." Vivian let herself be pulled toward the door, but she stopped at the threshold and looked back at Emma. "You can't hold on. You are too weak. Your family will devour you alive. And once they do," her smile was cold and sharp, "Sebastian will realize how big a mistake he made. I'll be waiting." Then she left, and Emma's legs almost gave way. Sebastian grabbed her and held her firmly. "That is better than I expected," he murmured to himself. "Okay?" Emma's voice snapped. "She threatened me." "Yes, but her father didn't. That means the alliance will remain." Sebastian lifted her chin, forcing her to look him in the eye. "And Vivian is wrong. You are not weak. You stand here, just facing one of the most powerful women in the North. That takes courage." Emma wanted to believe him, but Vivian's words echoed in her heart. "You won't make it. Your family will tear you apart." In the following weeks, Emma learned just how accurate Vivian's prophecies had been. Her family did not accept her. Not at all. The higher-ups ignored her. The soldiers looked at her with barely concealed contempt. The women were the worst, they whispered among themselves as she passed by, loud enough for her to hear. Mongrel. Marrying a rich man. She might have used some kind of magic on the chair. Victoria was the mastermind behind most of it. Emma was convinced. Sebastian's sister had a subtle, cruel talent for poisoning hearts, without getting her hands dirty. Emma diligently learns her new role. She attends family meetings, though no one listens when she speaks. She works with Nadine, learning about the family hierarchy and traditions. She trains with the family scholars, improving her reading and writing skills, which she never had time to develop as a servant. But that is not enough. It is never enough. One afternoon, she was taking a walk in the garden when she heard noises coming from behind the hedge. She immediately recognized them, Victoria and several senior women from the family. "It was so embarrassing," Victoria said. She couldn't even, Last week at the full moon ceremony, she barely managed to stay in place for about 10 minutes before collapsing. Why can't Sebastian see? Another voice asked. She makes us look weak. The other families are laughing at us. He was blinded by that connection, or he thought he was. Victoria's voice lowered further, and Emma had to strain to listen. But connections can be broken, especially connections that shouldn't exist. Emma's blood turned cold. She slowly backed away, careful not to make a sound. When she was far enough away, she ran back to the manor, her heart pounding. She should tell Sebastian, she knew she should, but every time she tried to speak, the words got stuck in her throat. He had already done so much for her. He had fought against his entire family to protect her. She couldn't add any more burden to him, so she remained silent, strived to become stronger. The effort was worthwhile. 2 weeks later, everything collapsed. The full moon gathering is a sacred tradition. All family members gather in the forest to celebrate, hunt together, and celebrate their nature. Emma used to always watch from afar, knowing she didn't truly belong to them. But now she should be the lady, which means she has to attend. Sebastian stood in the open space beside her, surrounded by hundreds of family members. A huge silver moon hung overhead, beckoning to everyone present. She closed her eyes, searching for that inner strength she had been trying to cultivate. She had been practicing with Sebastian, trying to strengthen their bond. Sometimes it works, sometimes she can maintain it for about an hour, but not tonight. The power within her was there. She could feel it, but it was distant and weak. As she tried to release, pain pierced her body. Her bones began to break and remodel, but they didn't complete the transformation. She was stuck in the middle. The chaotic twisting of her body made her scream. Emma. Sebastian was there immediately, his hand on her shoulder. Let go, don't force it. She let go, and her body abruptly returned to human form. She collapsed into Sebastian's arms, sobbing from pain and humiliation. The surrounding family members had completed their transformation. Hundreds of eyes gleamed in the moonlight, judging and condemning. She is so pathetic, someone said. Emma couldn't identify who it was through the contact. She will never be a real lady. Sebastian should reject her. This is so embarrassing. Fate must have made a mistake. Enough. Sebastian's voice boomed across the clearing, amplified by his leader's power. Anyone who has spoken ill of my partner will be held accountable to me personally. Now everyone, turn back. Slowly, reluctantly, people began to revert to human form, but the damage has already been done. Emma could see it in their faces, in the way they looked at her. To them, she was no better than an unknown person. She was embarrassed. I am sorry, she whispered to Sebastian. I am so sorry. Don't do this. He tightened his arms around her. It is not your fault, but it is true. She failed once again in front of the entire family. This time, even Sebastian's protection might not be enough. That night, Emma made a decision. She couldn't continue like this. She couldn't keep dragging Sebastian into this, making him choose between her and his family. He deserves better. The family deserves better. She waited until Sebastian fell asleep, then slipped out of the ladies' suite. She left a note on the table, a simple farewell, an apology, and a release for their unfinished connection. If she leaves now before they are fully united, Sebastian can find someone worthy, someone like Vivian who can truly lead him. The manor was quiet as she walked toward the servants' entrance. No one stopped her. Why did they stop her? They would all be happy to see her leave. She heard a roar when she was halfway across the field. Emma froze in the shadows of the trees. Her eyes were shining, not the silver of Sebastian's, but gold, hungry gold. Hire a hitman. Emma's heart stopped beating. Hitmen are exiled from their families, driven out for crime or infidelity. They travel in packs, preying on the weak. Somehow they crossed the Blackwell family's borders. She realized there were 5 when they emerged from the shadows. All were men, all burly, and all staring at her. She ran away. This is foolish. She knows they are faster than humans, and she can't transform well enough to escape. But instinct took over, and she rushed toward the manor. They caught up with her before she could run 10 feet. Jaws bit down on her heels, claws slashed across her back, tearing her skirt and the skin beneath. She screamed, a primal and desperate sound. Then the assassin was ripped off her, and the air was filled with the sounds of roaring and fighting. Emma collapsed to the ground, her back burning. Through her blurry, tear-filled eyes, she saw a gigantic black beast, larger than any she had ever seen, with silver eyes that shone like stars. Sebastian. He tore at the killer with a ferocity that was terrifying. He was a force of nature, all fangs and fury. The assassins had no chance. 3 died within minutes, and the other 2 escaped into the forest. Sebastian let them escape. He transformed back into human form, ran to Emma, and embraced her. "What are you doing here?" His voice trembled. "What are you thinking?" "I am leaving." Her words were mumbled. She had lost too much blood. "I am sorry. I am so sorry. You deserve better." Number Sebastian pressed his hand to her back, trying to stop the bleeding. "No, you can't leave me. You can't give up, Emma. Please, don't leave me." Family, to hell with his family, she realized. He was crying. The family head was crying. "I don't care what they think. I don't care about politics, alliances, or bloodlines. I care about you, only you. But I am very weak. You are not weak." He hugged her tighter, his forehead pressed against hers. "You are the strongest person I know. You survived 23 years in a family that treated you like trash. You left tonight to protect me, even if it cost you your life. That is not weakness, Emma. That is love." When he said it, his eyes widened, as if he himself was surprised. "I love you," he said again, this time with more certainty. "I know it will happen soon. I know we don't know each other very well, but I love you. I can't lose you. Please, please don't leave me." Emma's vision was fading, but she managed to raise her hand and place it on his cheek. "I love you too. I think I fell in love with you the moment you let Victoria sit in that chair." He smiled through his tears and kissed her. His lips tasted like salt and despair. Emma hopes she can hold on to this moment forever. "Stay with me," he whispered into her lips. "Fight for me, fight for us. I'll give it a try." Then the world turned black. Emma woke up 3 days later in the family hospital. Her back was bandaged, and every movement was painful, but she was still alive. Sebastian was sleeping on the chair beside her bed, his hand holding hers. He looked terrible. His hair was disheveled, he had dark circles under his eyes, and his chin was covered in stubble. "Sebastian." His eyes snapped open, silver and wild. "Emma." His voice broke. "Oh, thank God." He stood up and leaned down to her, cupping her face in his hands. "How are you feeling?" "Like someone who has been attacked by an assassin." "Not funny, it is kind of funny." He kissed her forehead, her cheek, her nose. "Don't scare me like that anymore." "I won't, I promise." She grasped his hand. "Sebastian, I mean it. I love you. I won't give up. I won't give up on us. I won't give up on our family. Whatever it takes, I'll prove I deserve it." "You don't need to prove anything." But she could see the relief in his eyes. "However, there is one thing you should know." "What?" "Those assassins who attacked you, they didn't cross our border by chance, they were let in. Someone breached the protective perimeter on the eastern border and gave them information about your location." Emma's blood ran cold. "Who?" "I am still investigating." His expression turned deadly. "But when I find out, they'll wish the killer had caught them in the first place." The following week, Sebastian interrogated everyone who had been near the eastern border that night. He summoned his pursuers. The guards were interrogated. All records of entering and leaving the family territory were reviewed. Gradually, a picture emerged. "Victoria, this isn't evidence, at least not yet. But too many clues point to her. The guard on duty that night was one of her friends. The witch who maintained the barrier had borrowed money from her last month. The servant who saw Emma leave the manor was employed by Victoria." Sebastian convened a family meeting. Everyone in the territory gathered in the hall, more than 500 people. Victoria stood nearby, a worried mask on her face. "Thank God you are all right," she said to Emma, her voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "I was so worried when I heard about the attack. Is that so?" Sebastian's voice was icy, interesting because, according to my investigation, it was you who orchestrated it. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Victoria's eyes widened, but not in shock. She was calculating. "That is ridiculous," she said. "Why would I?" "Because you want Emma dead." Sebastian stepped down from the stage, approaching his sister like a predator. "You think that if she is gone, I'll accept Vivian as my wife, and you can maintain your influence in family politics. You have no proof." Victoria's voice rose. "This is insane, Sebastian. I am your sister. She is my destined one, my wife. Fate itself has chosen her." Sebastian's power filled the room, heavy and oppressive. "You tried to kill what belongs to me. Do you know what the punishment is?" Victoria's face turned pale. "Sebastian, please. Death penalty." The word hung in the air like the executioner's blade. The family was completely quiet. But Sebastian continued. "Because you are my sister, because our parents loved you, I'll give you one chance, just one, confess. Tell everyone here what you've done, and I'll exile you instead of executing you." Victoria looked around the hall, searching for allies. But everyone avoided her gaze. Not even her closest friends. Because challenging the family head's decision about his chosen one is tantamount to suicide. They all know. I did it. Her voice was barely audible. I orchestrated the attack. I wanted her gone. She was wrong for you, Sebastian. She was too weak. She made us weak. Ina. Sebastian's voice cracked like a whip. "Guards, escort her to the border. She has 1 hour to leave the family territory. If she returns, kill her without mercy." As Victoria was dragged away, screaming curses and threats, Sebastian turned to speak to the family. "Let this be a lesson for all of you. Emma Gray is my destined one. She is your lady. Anyone who harms her, threatens her, or plots against her will face the same fate. I don't care if you are family. I don't care if you are friends. My destined one is sacred to me. I would burn my entire family to ashes rather than let anyone harm her. Do you understand?" Family members knelt on one knee in submission, their heads bowed. "Yes, Chief," they said in unison. Sebastian's eyes found Emma, who was standing on the edge of the platform. He walked toward her, his expression softening. "Are you all right?" he asked softly. "I'll be all right." She took his hand, their fingers intertwined. "Thank you for believing in me, for protecting me. Forever," he kissed her knuckles. "From now until the end of time, you are mine, and I am yours." 3 months later, on a night during the harvest month, Sebastian and Emma officially married in front of the entire family. The ceremony was held in an ancient clearing in the forest, the same place where Emma had once failed. But tonight was different. Tonight, the moonlight seems brighter, and the air is filled with anticipation and magic. The family members formed a circle, their eyes glowing in the darkness. But this time, it wasn't for judgment. This is a testament. Sebastian stood in the center of the circle, dressed in a formal black tuxedo. As Emma approached him, his eyes were filled with something she had never seen before: absolute adoration. She wore a simple white dress, and Nadine had braided a flower wreath for her and placed it in her hair. She didn't look like a servant. She didn't look like a mongrel. She looks like a lady. The family elder, a woman with snow-white hair and ancient eyes, presided over the ceremony. "Sebastian Blackwell," she said, her voice carrying the weight of years and wisdom. "Do you see this woman as your destined one, your wife, your other half? Will you protect her, cherish her, and stand by her side until your last breath?" "I do." Sebastian's voice didn't tremble. "Above all, Emma Gray, The elder turned to her. Do you see this man as your destined one, your leader, your other half? Will you support him, challenge him, and stand by his side until your last breath? Emma's heart pounded in her chest. I am willing above all else. Then please complete the union. Sebastian stepped forward and cupped Emma's face in his hands. His eyes, those silver, incredible eyes, locked onto hers. I've loved you from the moment you entered my life, he whispered. When I saw you sitting in that chair chosen by fate, I will spend the rest of my life worthy of you. Then he lowered his head and gently kissed her lips. As he stepped back, his eyes darkened, not with anger, but with something more primal. His fangs protruded, and he leaned towards her neck. Emma tilted her head, revealing her throat. The ultimate act of trust in their world. The pain was brief as his teeth pierced her skin. Then there are other things. A surge of power coursed through her body, like liquid flame. She could feel Sebastian in her mind, in her soul, connected to her in ways she had never imagined. Something that had been dormant deep within her awakened. Something powerful, something wild. As Sebastian stepped back, her blood was on his lips, and she felt a deep transformation begin within her. Unlike before, it wasn't painful and a failure. This time it felt right. Her bones were remodeling, but there was no pain. Her skin tingled with a new sensation. She could feel power building within her. The power of destiny, the power of moonlight, the power of love. When the transformation is complete, Emma is no longer human. She was a silver beast, her fur shimmering in the moonlight, with golden eyes, the same eyes as her mother's. She was smaller than Sebastian's black beast form, but she was fast, graceful, and full of power she had never felt before. The family roared in agreement, their voices echoing through the night sky. Sebastian transformed and stood beside her, huge, black, and awe-inspiring. But when he touched her nose to his, the movement was surprisingly gentle. Then they ran away. They walked together through the forest, moonlight streaming down their faces, with their families following behind. Emma felt truly free for the first time. For the first time, I felt powerful. For the first time, I felt that she truly belonged here. A few weeks later, Emma stood by the window in the hall, watching the sun rise over the family. She was no longer the frightened servant who fell asleep in the lady's chair. She had found her strength, not because of her past, but because of it. Every lesson she learned in hardship, every humiliation she endured, every day she survived, all of these made her who she is today. A person worthy of choosing a chair, someone worthy of Sebastian's love, a woman worthy of being called a wife. He wrapped his arms around her waist, and she nestled into Sebastian's embrace. What are you thinking about? He whispered in her ear. Think of that day, when Victoria slapped me. I woke up in the chair. She turned to look at him. If anyone had told me I would be here that day, with you as your wife, I would never have believed them, the chair knows. Sebastian smiled, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Fate knows. It took me a little while to catch up, but I know now. What do you know? You are exactly what I've always needed. Not a perfect woman with good blood, not a political ally, but you, with all your strength, all your courage, all your love. Emma's throat tightened. I still don't understand why the chair chose me, because it is smarter than any of us. He kissed her forehead. It saw you for who you truly are. Not a bastard, not a servant, but a survivor, a warrior, a lady. Outside, the family was beginning to wake up. She could hear the children's laughter, the guards changing shifts, and the smell of breakfast being prepared, wafting down the corridor. This is her family, her home. There is one more thing, Sebastian said, his voice becoming more serious. What? Vivian has messaged me. She wants to arrange a meeting, a formal one, to introduce you as Mrs. Vivian to the other families. Emma's stomach churned. She changed her mind. Not entirely. Sebastian's expression was difficult to decipher. Her father changed his mind. He saw the value of the alliance, and he saw what you could offer. Not political power, but real strength. You've proven you can survive. You can fight, you can lead. Did the other families see it too? They're watching, he said, pulling her closer. But they'll see what I see, I promise. The knocking interrupted them. Come in, Sebastian called. Nadine entered, a smile on her face. Madam, some ladies wish to see you. They say they want to learn from you about how to be strong, even if the world tells you you are not. Emma looked at Sebastian, then at Nadine. This is the beginning, not as someone to be tolerated, not as someone to be pitied, but as someone who can inspire others, as someone who can demonstrate power in many forms. Tell them I am coming right away, Emma said, her voice steady and clear. As Nadine left, Sebastian turned to her, his eyes filled with pride. Look at you, he whispered. My lady, my Emma. Our Emma, she corrected, placing her hand on her heart, the place that now beat in sync with his. I belong to you, but I also belong to them. To the family, I won't let them down. You never will. He kissed her, deeply, thoroughly, with unwavering commitment. You've exceeded all their expectations. You've exceeded mine. As they parted, Emma headed for the door, but she stopped and looked back. Sebastian, yes? Thank you. For what? To see me, the real me, when no one else can see me. He crossed the room and came to her side, cupping her face in his hands. I will see you forever, Emma Gray. Every single day, until my last breath. You are my moonlight, my strength, my everything. I will always see you, she whispered. My leader, my destined one, my love. They stood there for a moment, foreheads touching. In the morning light, not leader and servant, not nobleman and bastard, but simply two souls chosen by fate to be together. Outside, the sun was fully up, gilding the world with a golden hue. A new day has begun. A new chapter in my life has begun. Emma stepped out of the room, head held high, back straight, her heart filled with purpose to greet the ladies who wanted to learn from her. Behind her, Sebastian watched her walk away with a smile on his face. The chair knew, he thought. It had always known. Emma Gray, once an unknown, once a servant, once called unworthy, is the most powerful lady the Blackwell family has had for centuries. It is not because of her bloodline. It is not because of her heritage. It was because of her heart. Fate never makes a mistake. It just sometimes takes it longer than others to see the truth. 3 years later, Emma stood in the center of the hall, the same hall where she had once been slapped, humiliated, and told she never belonged. But tonight, the hall is filled with representatives from all 7 families who have come to attend the annual Alliance Summit. She wore a deep blue dress, the same color as her silver beast form, and her hair was elegantly styled in an updo. On her neck was Sebastian's mark, his symbol of union, which she proudly displayed for all to see. Ladies and gentlemen, her voice rang out clearly and forcefully throughout the hall. Thank you for joining us tonight. 3 years ago, I stood in this room as an unknown. Today, I stand here as a lady of the Blackwell family, and I want to tell you what I have learned. The room was completely silent. All eyes were on her. I've learned that strength isn't in blood. It is in choice. The choice to stand up every day. The choice to fight, even if you are afraid. The choice to love, even if you've been hurt. I've come to understand that a family isn't just made up of the people you were born into. It is made up of the people who see you for who you truly are and choose you regardless. Her eyes found Sebastian standing in the crowd, looking at her as if she were his whole world. Because that is who she is. It is as if he were hers. I've also learned that fate has a way of getting us where we're meant to be, even if the path isn't what we expected. She walked toward the lady's chair, the chair from 300 years ago, the chair that had changed her life, and gently placed her hands on it. This chair chose me when I didn't even believe in myself. It saw who I could become before I saw it. She looked up, scanning the gathered family. I want each of you to remember, you are not defined by your past. You are not defined by what others think of you. You are defined by your choices, your courage, and the love in your heart. Thunderous applause erupted, echoing throughout the hall. When the noise subsided, Sebastian walked toward her and reached out his hand. Will you dance with me, madam? Emma smiled and took his hand. Forever, your majesty. As they slid across the floor under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Sebastian whispered in her ear, Do you know how much I love you? Tell me. More than the moon, I love the sky. More than the stars, I love the darkness. More than my soul, I love the breath. He pulled her closer. You are my everything, Emma. My destiny, my wife, my life. I love you too, she whispered. Thank you for believing in me when I didn't even believe in myself. Forever. He kissed her forehead. From that first day to the last, you are mine, and I am yours. The music continued to play. They continued to dance, and the world around them disappeared until only they remained. Two souls chosen by fate, bound by love and made unbreakable by their courage to choose each other. In the corner of the room, the lady's chair sat quietly, its ancient wood gleaming in the candlelight. If someone looks close enough, they might swear they saw it smiling. Because the chair knew, it always knew, that Emma Gray was the lady the Blackwell family had always needed. Not because of her past, but because of it. Fate never makes a mistake. It only sometimes lets us experience the flames to show us what we are truly made of. Emma Gray, the former servant, the former nameless one, the former survivor, is made of moonlight and steel, love and strength, courage and grace. She is exactly what a lady should be. End of article.